One of the pallbearers at Senator McCain's funeral on Saturday will be Mark Salter, the senator's longtime aide, confidant, and former chief of staff. The two men collaborated on 7 books, many published by Simon & Schuster, a division of CBS. Mark Salter is with us from Phoenix. Good morning, Mark. You traveled all over the world with Senator McCain in strange places, small places. Why did the senator feel like he had to throw himself across the globe all the time?
Well, I think he was intent on helping American leadership in the world and extending America's values to places where they didn't exist. Those trips you talked about never included Paris or Rome or places you might want to take yourself, but we were in Burma many times and Vientiane and places where he thought he could do some good.
You wrote a lot of speeches for the senator in addition to the books. Which was easier, writing a speech in which John McCain was winning something or in which he had been defeated?
The latter. We were talking about some of those speeches the other day because he would never let us write them for him or with him until we knew what was going to happen in an election. And I guess he won a lot of elections. He lost 2 big ones, obviously, the presidential elections in 2000 and 2008. But I always thought he was. I had a line in something I wrote the other day that said he was defiant in defeat and sometimes in victory too, and it's a more attractive quality in defeat, I think. But he tried to stand up, and he was very magnanimous all the time too. And I always thought he just looked and acted and spoke his best. You know, when he had suffered a personal defeat, but still felt optimistic and hopeful about the country.
You collaborated, as John mentioned, with McCain on so many of his writings. Did you work with him on that final letter, and how close to his death did he write it? And it sounds like he wanted to send a message.
He did. We worked on it in, I think I was out here in the early spring, March time frame, working on the book, the last book together, and he mentioned to me that he wanted to have a statement released after he had passed away, and along the lines of his concession speech in 2008, actually. A big part of that was taken from there. And so we put together something for him, and he looked at it, and he suggested a few edits here and there, and read it a few times, said, okay, put it in a drawer. And that's what we did. The
tone and the words in this letter make it sound like he almost anticipated how President Trump would react to his death. I'm specifically referring to that line, "We weaken our greatness when we confuse our patriotism with tribal rivalries." Do you think that's the case?
Well, I don't think he anticipated what President Trump would be doing in the days after his death. No, I think he had made that argument already in the fall. He wanted to address the kind of nativism that seemed to, populism that was becoming nativism, that he had argued against before. So.
Mark, I can see this is very painful for you. He was such a class act, and I think a lot of us are now paying a lot more attention to John McCain, looking at him differently, reading about him, hearing about things we didn't hear before. What an amazing man, and what an honor for you to have gotten to know him the way that you did.
It was the honor of a lifetime.
Yeah, I feel that.
I met him in New Orleans in 1988, and just sort of accidentally, and it was the luckiest day of my life.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mark Salter, for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mark. Thinking of you.